All right. Thank you for joining me, Joseph Yanez, in episode 2 of the Golden Valley podcast. This week, I have Marcello, the ex-fitness trainer and strength trainer at Golden Valley High School. Now, first, before the interview starts, let me plug in some advertisements here. GVTech, GVTech, GVTech. Interested in anything technology, recording podcasts, music at lunch, running rallies? Talk to me or Miss Fruin in room 313 every 2 weeks. Today, there was a meeting. You can join us next week for the next meeting. Also, don't forget to come out today for the Golden Valley High School varsity football game at 7 p.m. at Veterans Stadium, as Golden Valley Cougars will be battling it out against the Los Banos. Now, without further ado, let's start this interview. Marcello, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us what your favorite part of Golden Valley has been and how this overall experience has been for you?
You know, I'd say my favorite part of Golden Valley has been since day one when I first started 3 years ago. I noticed that this athletic department, the kids that were in it had a great work ethic for the most part. You know, we had some kids that kind of didn't buy in the very beginning, but, you know, over time and seeing some of the hardworking kids kind of buy in and see the great results that, you know, it was just a matter of time till all of athletics was bought into what I was doing and the goals that I was trying to accomplish.
All right. So what's been your favorite sport just in general in your life or in here at Golden Valley? What's your favorite sport to train or to practice?
I mean, for myself, I loved playing baseball back in the day. And then also in my spare time, I love playing like golf and things like that. Just try and play as many sports as I can in my downtime. At Golden Valley, I wouldn't say I have like a favorite team, but there's been some teams in the past that have bought in very early on, like our boys basketball team back my first year with Josh Sykes, Evan Stallon, and Christian Carroll's team. I would say probably our volleyball teams and our girls basketball teams. Not that they're my favorite teams, but just their work ethic in general really kind of stood out among some of the other teams. Also, our girls water polo team last year, and then this year's varsity football team really kind of stepped up in the off season and kind of bought into everything, and we're starting to see the results these first couple weeks of their games.
All right, good. So how did you get to be the trainer at Golden Valley?
The way I became the strength and conditioning coach at GV was, you know, I graduated from Fresno State in kinesiology, exercise science. I did an internship back in 2010 to 11 with the San Jose Sharks, where I learned from one of the best strength coaches in my field on how to design and implement strength and conditioning programs for large groups. From there, I got married in 2012, and my wife and I moved to San Diego, where I worked at a private training facility where I worked with various athletes, baseball, basketball, football, volleyball, all different sports. And then while I was down there, I was contacted by one of our old associate principals, Mr. John Deno. He kind of approached me about bringing my services of strength and conditioning and functional type of training to the Central Valley, because there's nobody in this area from Fresno past Modesto that offers everything that I offer. And I was very curious to come back to Merced and offer my services and see what can kind of happen. And it's been an amazing thing to see that offering my services and my new kind of training and stuff like that. You know, we've seen huge results, not only in performance enhancement, but in injury reduction and things like that.
All right. How has your workout program affected Golden Valley in the general perspective of things? We saw 2 weeks ago, the football team, they beat a 12-1 team, a division lower, but still a very good win. And I think from what I saw, the football has been training with you a lot, that they've improved. How would you say that you had part of to do with that?
I mean, the big thing comes down to the players and the teams themselves. I mean, I can design a great, amazing program, but if they're not being consistent and showing up, I mean, they're not going to gain the qualities that I'm trying to enforce so that they grow from them. I would say the big thing is just the commitment from all the teams and everything, and the dedication into my program. And with that, yeah, we've seen all of our athletes that have done that, their performance enhance and their strength go up and all that. But the big thing is, after talking to our athletic trainer, Tito, our injuries have gone down 95%. So, I mean, that's less kids that miss games. So that means we have our top players not missing games due to injuries. You know, the big thing was, before I started, Tito was telling me that we averaged between 3 and 5 knee injuries every year. Since I've been here and implementing my injury prevention stuff, we've only had 2, maybe 3 in 3 years. And those are big, season-ending injuries that we've had a chance to reduce. And then all the other smaller injuries, such as hamstring or quad injuries, those have been significantly reduced as well.
All right. All right. So how was your high school experience when you were about our age, seniors, juniors? Was there anything similar in your high school, or was it just everybody in their particular sports and the weight room is like shared?
When I was in high school, that was, I graduated from Merced High back in 2005. It was very general and very basic. All we really did back then was just, bench and squat and clean. The weight room wasn't really enforced that much by any of our coaches. But going into my senior year, my baseball coach, Scott Winton, he went to some conferences and stuff and brought back some new kind of training when it came to, plyometric stuff, footwork stuff, and then some new kind of lifting when it came to like front squats and things like that. So it made it a lot more interesting than just doing like 3 lifts the whole time. So it kind of struck my interest to get into that kind of field and kind of live a healthy lifestyle when it came to, staying on top of working out and my diet and everything. But in high school, it wasn't as, mandatory. Yeah, football and baseball had their time in the off season as well as basketball, but nobody really trained year round as strict as we've been doing the past 3 years. And back when I was in high school, I can remember tons of injuries that have occurred throughout my senior year that possibly could have been prevented with year-round training and a lot of the implementation of the injury prevention stuff that I do.
All right, so you've definitely changed my perspective on how to work out and that type of thing, and I wasn't really into like weightlifting and that type of stuff. So what would you give it? How would you give advice to people who want to start working out but are too shy or think that they're going to be shunned from the weight room or don't really belong to a sport and they just want to work out?
I mean, I think the big thing, if you just want to work out, whether you work out here in a PE class or you join a sport and you work out, it's just being consistent with it, making it a priority of, hey, I'm going to work out at this time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you're working out on your own. And that's the big thing that I see with people is if your consistency isn't there and your commitment to being consistent isn't there, you're not going to see much results, and eventually you're kind of tail off and kind of stop working out in general from time to time. So, I mean, just making time and making it a priority is a huge thing that I've seen in this profession that athletes and just people in general should start enforcing from day one.
All right. Just to finish off, could you tell us what you will be doing outside of Golden Valley?
Yes. Starting September 12th, I've accepted a position with the San Jose Barracudas, which are the minor league hockey team for the San Jose Sharks. And I'll be their head strength and conditioning coach and just designing and implementing their preseason and in-season program, and eventually designing the San Jose Sharks off-season program with or under direction from their head strength and conditioning coach, Mike Potenza.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a very bright future ahead of you. Hopefully, we'll see you back here at Golden Valley. You've definitely impacted the school, and we appreciate that from you. Thank you for joining episode 2 of the Golden Valley podcast.
Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you guys doing this.
All right. Marcello, what an upstand guy. I really want to thank him for joining me on the podcast. Guys, remember, last time to see Marcello is today, Friday. Make sure you say thank you to him for everything he's done, whether you were committed to your sport or not. whether you were committed to the weight room or not, speed and power or not. But remember to thank Marcello for everything he has done for this school, and because it's the last time you'll see him for right now. He says that this is not a goodbye, this is a see you soon. Again, thank you for watching the Golden Valley podcast. Remember, there is a game today, Los Banos versus the Golden Valley Cougars right here at Veterans Stadium. You don't want to miss it. It's the second home game. Crowd's going to be crazy. ASB is going to be out there, and there's going to be food, and we're all just going to have a good time. Make sure to come out to the game. As well, GV Tech. Remember to join us every 2 weeks for a meeting if you want more information on how to make podcasts, how to do music at lunch, how to be a tech guy just in general. Make sure you join us. Again, thank you for watching this second episode of the Golden Valley podcast. Until next week, I'll see you then.